Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Novi, and we are back with another AEW Dynamite pre-show live. It's great to be here. It's been a hectic day. I'm not going to lie to you guys. If you guys follow me on Twitter, I've been posting about how my internet was down pretty much all day long. There was like a big storm yesterday, and apparently that takes out my internet. So that was very unfortunate. It had me very worried I'd have to miss this show, but we are here. We are live, and that being said, leave a like on the stream if you're hanging out. Make sure to say what's up in the chat. We have super chats. If you are feeling so generous, then go ahead and send one of those in. But for now, I think we're just gonna prepare for the stream. It's been an exciting, week off of Dynamite. A lot of big news coming out, but I think there's a lot to be looking forward to on this show. We look up and down this card. Obviously, we have blood and guts at the very top. I mean, it doesn't get much bigger than that. So, yeah, should be a fun one. Should be a fun one tonight. It's going to be excited to get into it all. There's a debut. There's a return. Even the Jericho thing might be okay. I mean, it's a big night of Dynamite. Since we're here, we're hanging out. We might as well get into the first one. We'll hear from the new AEW International Champion MJF. I haven't spoken on this match on this show. The match from last week, I should say, the MJF Ospreay match, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I thought I was very in the middle. There was some people out there saying it was like, oh, this is the worst match I've ever seen in the history of wrestling and all this other stuff. And look, I understand not liking it. I didn't love it either, but I think that might be pushing it a little bit too far. I definitely think they kind of, missed out on a lot of the selling. They missed out on just a real structure to it that I would have appreciated, but overall, I didn't hate the match or anything like that. It wasn't amazing. It wasn't even, I wouldn't even say it's spreadsheet worthy, which is, 4-star and above, but it doesn't make it bad. I think what kind of contributes it to not being so universally loved was the winner, because MJF did beat Ospreay, and it's an interesting choice, very interesting choice. I think that maybe speaks to what's going to happen at Wembley. I'm sure there'll be a rematch, considering, MJF had to pull out the diamond ring and all that good stuff, but yeah, I think this promo should be something along the lines of what he's been saying lately. It's kind of what I expect. It's not what I hope. I know he went on an interview today and was talking about, it's not the big three, it's big me. He thinks he's Kendrick, all that good stuff. But I wish he would play into that a little bit more. He was basically saying, like, I'll take out all your favorites, all these guys you think are the best. I'm going to beat them because I'm the best. I wish he'd kind of delve into that a little bit more, because I feel like it's much better for him as a character. But who knows what he's going to do. He'll probably, mention some online shit or something like that, and we'll all roll our eyes collectively, all that good stuff. Apollo the leader, we'll get to chats. Hey, how's it going, guys? What's good, Apollo? I've seen you on Twitter, Apollo. You've been calling me out, acting like I'm capping, acting like I'm a liar. I'm no liar. I wish I was lying, because I really missed my internet today. I was trying to play iRacing, but the skepticism is a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ian Davis, what's good, Ian? Hope everything is well. Hope everything's all good with you too, bro. Not as much hype for Blood and Guts. Kind of just meh. Also, MJF vs. Will was 22 long. If they cut out some of the filler, it would have been much better. Yeah, that's where I was at on it too. An hour just felt like it didn't feel like an hour was earned. It felt like an hour was just set up, if that makes sense. Like, I remember watching back Hangman Bryan, or even MJF Bryan. It felt like the hour was because neither of them would quit, neither of them would give up. And this, it was kind of like, oh, we're scheduled to go an hour, let's go an hour. And they just struggled to fill that time. So I definitely agree. It was about 30 too long for me. I think they hit their peak pretty early and kind of just went down from there. It's very unfortunate. Young Nabs, what's good, Young Nabs? Hikaru Shida teasing potential heel turn from AEW Collision from Saturday. I don't know if that's what I got from that. I did kind of see some talk of it. I kind of more got it as like, I just want to fight people. I'm sick of just waiting around, I want to fight. And I thought the very unfortunate Sky Blue injury kind of played into that, where it was just like, I need somebody. I need someone to fight. Setting up for the match we're going to talk about later. But if it was a Hikaru Shida heel run, I'm not going to complain about it. I love Shida. The Great Elian, what's good, Elian? Hey man, already failed the daily upload challenge. I did happen to see. It's been a few days. Yeah, hey, I can't blame you, bro. Uploading is kind of, it can be a lot sometimes, especially daily. You have to cover a lot of news and all that stuff, and that can be a little much. But it's the thought that counts. It's the thought that counts. Another one from Apollo. They wanted to swerve and have a photo finish. That was unique. Yeah, it was a bit unique. I thought they pulled that off like okay. It felt like they actually got it wrong at the end. It felt like Knox wasn't actually supposed to count. Like it was supposed to go to a time limit. So maybe that's kind of like what they were shooting for. I didn't hate the finish so much. I'm just not sure about the winner, you know. And you know, we'll say another one from a line here. Blood and Guts was so unnecessary this year. I didn't even talk about it with Ian's chat. I should have talked about it because it was something I wanted to talk about specifically. Yeah, Blood and Guts is one of those things. It's kind of like War Games at this point, where it's like, do we really need to be doing that every year? I feel like we should do it when the story allows for it. Not, you know, it's that time of year. Let's make a match. Especially this year because that story isn't hot enough for it. It doesn't feel like it's you know, worth a Blood and Guts match, especially when I don't feel like the Blood and Guts match is going to end the feud. That's not me saying the Blood and Guts. I'm not saying the match is going to be bad or anything, but it's just not. It just feels like it wasn't earned this year in a way. So yeah, I definitely agree. Emmanuel, Royal Rampage prediction. Mine is Keith Lee. I would be very surprised if it's Keith Lee. I'm afraid Keith Lee is probably on his way out, if I had to guess. It doesn't look very hopeful for him, especially with all the injuries and stuff. My prediction is actually probably going to be Mox. I heard that shouted out from @KeemWins, his great account if you guys want to follow him on Twitter. I've been not loving Mox's character. I've not been loving his work this year or anything, but I think Mox versus either Swerve or Danielson is a really good match. It's a really big-time match, so I'd 100% be down with that. I'm going with Mox. Should have been the women. Yeah, it should have been the women for sure. We should have done a big Chris Stat Willow match. I think that would have worked a lot better. A lot better. I thought the BCC should have retained their trios champ. Oh no, the Bang Bang Gang. Sorry, I don't know why I thought that was the wrong thing. Shout out to Bang Bang Gang. Bang Bang Gang should have retained their trios championship against the Patriarchy during the main event collision. I thought they just probably shouldn't have dropped the belt at all. I thought they shouldn't have done that silly little angle. But I don't necessarily hate the Patriarchy as champs. It's just the trios division is kind of cooked. That's kind of where I'm at it. I'm afraid it's where I'm going with it. I wish it was better. It started off so good, and then it kind of petered off. Unfortunate. One way what's good, Thomas? What's good, Thomas? One way to save Blood and Guts this year is to have a good amount of story in the match, like Hangman only going in there for Swerve, then immediately turning on the Bucks in the match. Yeah, I think they have to do something like that in this match. I think they have to. The main selling point here is obviously Hangman versus Swerve in a lot of ways, and even, you know, maybe Scapegoat versus Darby, but they have to tell a long-term story. They have to do something going out of it that kind of splits this up into multiple parts, because we don't need these two groups going at it anymore. We need this to split, diverge. That's what I hope happens. And I think doing what you said, you know, going with a lot of storytelling in the match, I think that'd be good too, to do that. The main problem with the Elite storyline is the stakes, because what are they even fighting for? Yeah, what are they fighting for? Who is fighting against them? Why are people fighting against them? It's not like they have any control they had, because Tony's back. It's very, they don't feel like a threat. It's rough. I'm not a fan. I'm thankful that AEW brought back time limit draws, factions, and win-loss record to the mainstream pro wrestling. Me too. I thought those are some of their best parts. I think it's some of their, you know, making it matter kind of thing. And I'm a big fan. I was thinking lately too that they need more factions. So I definitely agree. When Leo Rush comes to AEW and saves the Trios division with Top Flight, I have heard some Leo Rush Trios division talk. I've heard some Leo Rush and maybe some incoming former Hurt Business members, or rebuilding the Hurt Business or something like that. I think that would work for me just fine. I wish just have a story like that to build the Trios division around. I wouldn't mind at all. What do you think about the debut of Hologram? Hey, he was bouncing around. He was flying in there. He was doing some crazy stuff. He jumped from the floor to a guy's shoulders at one point. Gringo Loco's shoulders, I should say. He looked good in the debut. He's a very exciting prospect. I'm not too sure exactly what his ceiling is or anything like that. I'm not too sure what they hope for him. But so far in his first match, I thought he performed real well. So I'm excited to see what comes for him. At at this point, the trios belt shouldn't exist in AEW. The division is cooked, and it's also helped make the tag division cooked. Yeah, I kind of agree. It's unfortunate that I agree because I like trios wrestling quite a bit. But, you have to get 3 people that are busy, and it's hard to put a group of 3 together and make them feel busy and keep them out of other things all at the same time. It's a lot to manage. And at first, when the Elite were going to hold the belts for a while before everything happened, I thought it was going to work. And then they had to, relinquish and all that stuff, and it just kind of fell apart from there. And then I think the Acclaimed put the final nail in the coffin of the belts, and that's kind of when I was done with them. So I'm unfortunately on your side there. Stat, Mercedes, Mariah, Deanna, Deeb versus Willow, Britt, Tony, Rosa, and Sheeta would have cooked. That, hey, sounds like a good lineup to me. I'm not sure what my personal lineup would have been. I would have maybe liked to get some Stardom girls in there, but yeah, that's a solid lineup. I would have loved to see a women's match, honestly. Just looking at that lineup in particular, I think it would have worked pretty damn well. Let's see here, another from Thomas. Yeah, like Darby wants Scapegoat, but so does Mark Briscoe setting up a match for the #1 contendership. That would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing that match. Sounds like a banger match to me, honestly. Anything with Darby is good, so I would be here for that. Hangman dropping Matt with a nasty lariat, headbutting Nick, then walking, allowing Team AEW to win. I could see it. He's been very aggressive towards the Bucks when he first in their first encounter, so I could see that kind of continuing here. I'm assuming it continues here, especially when Swerve is in the ring and they maybe not want to tag him in or something like that. I think we could see a lot of that. Would love to see Mordos and Roosh in a tag team. I think that would rule. I'd love to get both of those guys involved more. A tag would be a great way to do it. It really bolstered the tag division. You could run them versus the Lucha Bros. I know it's like, we're going to pit 2 luchadors together, 2 luchador teams, but it would be a great match. So, yeah, that'd be a great team. Sons and Shadows, what's good? Hope all is well with you, Sons and Shadows. At least I'm doing good. Hopefully I'm a part of the homies, and I'm doing good. Another one from Nabs. If Bobby Lashley and MVP came to AEW, which wrestlers would you like to see be a part of the Hurt Business? I would be a fan of seeing Bobby and MVP in AEW a little bit. It's one of those things where, yes, we've seen it happen before, where these wrestlers that are kind of out of WWE for a while and then go over, they're not like they used to be, and I get that, but I like Bobby Lashley. I think he's cool, and MVP is a great manager, so I'd be interested to see it. Like to see a part of the Hurt Business. I would probably go with someone like Leo Rush. I know there was another name that was floated around. I think Ricochet was one of the names that they wanted in the Hurt Business originally, so I could see him maybe joining it, giving him something to do. I think those 2 names, along with Bobby, MVP. So let me just start from the top. It'd be Bobby, MVP, Leo Rush, Ricochet, and then I'd maybe consider Shelton Benjamin. I haven't seen any of his matches post-WB, but I'd consider it. I love Bobby, but I want him in TNA, not AEW. I just don't see him gelling in AEW. Yeah, but, selfishly, I don't watch TNA, so it's like, I'd probably rather him in AEW. I think a bigger stage is good for him. I think he'd work a little bit better there, and I don't know. TNA is just not my favorite place right now, so I wouldn't mind seeing it, though. It's not a bad idea. Hot take. Okay, we got a hot take from Apollo. Everyone lock in. Swerve and Hanger never touch tonight. That'd be a very bold decision. But honestly, I could see it happening. I could very much see it happening. Maybe they just leave it for later and later and later until they finally have that one-on-one, that 4th match. I think that would be really cool. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Maybe they get beat before Hangman even comes in or something like that. I think that'd be very interesting. I could see it happening. That's a good hot take. Very, very good hot take. Bobby Lashley versus Hobbs. See, you're on the right train. You know what we're all talking about here. I think Powerhouse Hobbs or Lee Moriarty would be a good addition to the Hurt Business. Oh, those are 2 really good names, I think. I know, Powerhouse Hobbs is always in a damn faction, but he'd work there. Lee Moriarty would be good, too. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing both those names. Very, very, very good shouts. I'd much prefer Bobby Lash in Japan than AEW. Bobby versus Gabe Kidd would be a very cool thing to see. Yes, absolutely. I would, if not AEW, New Japan is the way for me. I should have mentioned it too, talking about TNA. New Japan is the way. Bobby Lashley hooping over there. He's got some stem cells in him lately, apparently. He's been doing the Rey Mysterio treatment over in Germany, so I would not mind seeing. I think that'd be fucking awesome. Him versus someone like Bolton Oleg. That's heat. Yeah, good shout here from Apollo. If you guys haven't liked the video, make sure to like it. It helps with discoverability, all that good stuff. I'm constantly responding to chats, so send me whatever you want to say, and we have super chats. So if you are interested in feeling generous, go ahead and drop those super chats. I'll definitely get into that. We'll get through Nicholas Wagner's comment, and then we'll move on to the next segment. Make the trios an annual tournament where the finals ends in blood and guts. Keep that and the Continental title as annual titles that aren't defended year-round. I would be okay with that. I think the Continental Classic the winner should just get a trophy. And then the trios tournament, I wouldn't mind either. I wouldn't hate it. But yeah, that's where I stand on it. Next up, we have the debut of the Glamour Mariah May, obviously coming off of the heels of her turn against Toni Storm, where she left her bloody and just, it was a great segment, great moment. One of my favorite angles of maybe Dynamite history. And this is the first time we're going to see her wrestle under the new Glamour character. I'm really excited to see it. I don't know who she's going to wrestle. Probably some young talent she can fucking kick to God knows where. So this should be a great match. I'm really excited for. Mariah is one of my favorites. I think the sky's the limit for her, and she's on a Wembley world title chase right now. So I'm really excited to see what she looks like as the Glamour. Hopefully she brings back that damn theme song. If you guys have been watching these streams for a bit, you guys know I want to hear that damn theme song. So hopefully she brings that back. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Mariah May's debut coming up. What do you want to see in this match? You want to see her just beat the shit out of someone? That's kind of what I want to see. So yeah, let me know. We'll get back to the chats here. Young Nabs. Bobby Lashley has been wasted from Triple H. Hey, we're going to have some Triple H discussions. People have been having them. People have been saying some things about how Triple H feels about a certain particular race. And I don't feel like I'm the person who should be saying something like that. I feel like I'll leave that to people who maybe, I don't know. I just don't feel like I'm the right person to have that kind of discussion, but I'm not going to say I disagree with that take. Sorry. MJF in my glorious CMLL. Yeah, but he's wrestling a Templario, I think it was. So, hey, could be a good match. Hopefully he comes to Hoop. That's kind of my only thing. I hope he comes to Hoop because he's got to show out, man. He's got to show out. He can't do what he did versus, what's his name? I'm so bad with names. Hechicero. I think hopefully the match is good. Hopefully he just doesn't do a whole, like, I'm from America, you know that gimmick. You know what I'm talking about. Another one from Elian. Continental title can work if they have the champion have to defend it almost 3 times in order to get a world title shot. That'd be an interesting stipulation. It might be a little bit too complicated for TV. I know they kind of more like to keep things simple sometimes, but I definitely wouldn't mind that sort of thing. I think that's a good way to get around it if they want to keep the title. But I think they should get a trophy and a world title shot as is. I think that would work pretty well for me. At the first pay-per-view of the year, I wouldn't mind it, especially if the Continental Classic is going to include as many Hoopers as it had last year. So, yeah, not a bad shout. Emmanuel again, always thought the C2 should be like AEW, like Lucha Underground's Gift of the Gods belt. I'm not familiar with the Gift of the Gods belt. If you could maybe, give me some background info in the chat, but I'm hoping that you're on the right track with that one. Give me some background so I know what that is, because I'm a little too unfamiliar with Lucha Underground. Blood and Guts, let's go. Yes, we're very excited for Blood and Guts, even though it's not the best built Blood and Guts. I'm still excited to see what it looks like. So yes, let's go. Another one from Apollo. Did you catch the interview TK did on the Rich Eisen show? I don't really watch the interviews, to be quite honest with you. I'm not watching a TK interview. I'm barely watching any other interviews, but I have seen some of the quotes, and they have been a little interesting. So if you want me to respond to any specific quote, I will definitely do that. But he said some interesting things in that interview. So the Acclaimed feels so out of place in that Blood and Guts match. Don't you think? I do think. I definitely agree, especially because I don't like the Acclaimed, and I think they probably shouldn't exist as a team anymore. So yeah, they definitely feel out of place. They're not the team I would have went with Team AEW. I know they do, in a way, embody AEW, coming from the bottom, just being put together kind of thing, but they're just not the team I would have put in there, so I do agree. I would have preferred Pac versus Ospreay at Wembley. Now we might MJF or Garcia to face him at All In Wembley. Yeah, I would have loved to see the Pac match in at Wembley. I think that match would have been so good. Ospreay and Pac, they're both two big high flyers. They're fast movers. I think they would have clicked really easily. But I do think the MJF and Ospreay match that I think we're going to see at All In is going to be a lot better. I think it's going to be significantly better than the hour. I think they're going to keep it shorter. I think they'll probably keep it to about 25, 26. And they'll kind of condense it and do a lot of the good stuff from their story from the hour, make that into a shorter match. I think it'll work. I think it'll be a good match, but it's not particularly what I would have wanted to see, unfortunately. Another one from Thomas. Just keep the Continental as Cup and a title shot AEW's G1 Climax. You could even have a bit of a budding rivalry with the winner fighting, with the G1 winner fighting the C2 winner. That would be interesting. I wouldn't mind seeing it. Obviously, the C2, I think, ends around the time of Wrestle Kingdom, so it'd be hard to do it. But I definitely wouldn't mind seeing it. And as I said earlier, I agree with the Cup and the title shot, so I'm on the same page as you. The next match, we'll see if we're on the same page as everyone. I'll take a peek here because I don't know how people are going to feel about this. Chris Jericho versus Minoru Suzuki for the FTW Championship. Look, you guys know how I feel about Jericho. You know how uninterested I am with him as a character. You know how unproductive I think it all is. You get it. You guys also might know I like Suzuki quite a bit, even if he is just an old man who can throw a chop or two and land maybe a little weird on his back one good time on a match. I still enjoy his work. I think this match will be fun. I don't think it'll be great. I don't think it'll be some amazing match or it'll make me completely change my mind on Chris Jericho, but I do think it'll be good. So I think that's where I'm at. It'll be a fun time. I'll probably enjoy it. Even if I don't enjoy Chris Jericho at the moment, I'll probably think this match is all right. It's too, not going to say good either, but they're very, very solid workers. Even if Jericho has taken a big decline, he's still solid enough. I think this will be fun. I think it'll be kind of similar to the match versus Shibata, where Jericho wrestled Shibata, where that match was a pretty good time. It's not anything crazy, it's not anything great, but it was a fun time. I think this will be very similar. The Gift of the Gods belt. Okay, we're getting chats again. I should have segued that. Manual. The Gift of the Gods belt functioned like the Money in the Bank, but was defended as a normal belt, with cash-ins being called a week in advance, similar to TNA's Option X. That would be a great choice. I think that would be an awesome little thing there. I don't know if it'd be good for the Continental Classic because it's such a big tournament. You're winning like a shot that you could choose. I don't know. It'd be interesting to do. I definitely wouldn't mind. I think it's a pretty decent kind of option there. Was my hot take about Saraya too hot? What hot take about Saraya? Hang on, I'm looking. I did not see your hot take about Saraya. You can post it, run it back again, because I don't know what you're referring to exactly. We'll see. I would bring Ricochet at All In and have him face Pac, which would be a banger match. That would be a banger match. It'd be a big moment for both guys. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing it at Wembley. I think that'd be perfect for it, honestly. I think the Jericho match will be fun. Agreed. You just heard my thoughts on all of it, so yes, I agree. Thomas, love Suzuki. Don't want him near Jericho. The spot should have been given to someone else. Sorry. That's an interesting thing. I don't think it's like crazy, deep about it. Suzuki kind of just is a traveling old head who chops guys. I think it works okay for this kind of shot. I don't necessarily mind it. Jericho things tend to have some type of surprise. They do. Sometimes they're surprisingly shit. Sometimes they're surprisingly okay. I think the surprise here is going to be this is surprisingly fun for a lot of people. That's what the surprise is going to be here. Dynamite just broke 5,000 tickets tonight. That's fucking awesome. Hopefully, Nashville, Tennessee is really hot for this whole show. I think it's going to add a ton to it, especially the Blood and Guts match. They got to be hot for that. So that's very exciting. It's good to hear. What I think of are... Wait, hold on. Sherman stories and cut the fluff. Jericho is the definition of fluff. Yeah, Jericho is the definition of fluff. He's just... doesn't really seem like he has a place on this show too much, and he kind of really wants to be, but I don't think so. How do you think the stage at All In will look this year? I think it'll look pretty similar to how it did last year. I'd maybe like for it to be just a tad, I don't know. I would like for the tunnel to maybe look a little bit different. Maybe just do the casual Dynamite tunnels and stuff where the usual, just flat one was in the shape of a door. But I think it'll look pretty similar to last year, and I don't mind it. I think that look was pretty cool. Are you coming to Wembley? No, I'm not going to Wembley. I wish I was. I really do. But maybe it's a good time to bring up. The next 2 weeks, I will not be doing this stream because I will be going to Dynamite Live. So I'll be in at both the Dynamites. So if anyone sees me and wants to say it was good, I'm there. I don't know if there's anyone who would ever want to do that to me, but I'll be there and it should be a good time. I'm pretty excited to go. Hopefully there's some big matches that get announced because I'm looking forward to it. Bro, give me some names that should leave AEW. You to remove some extra weight. That's an interesting little guess. I'm not big on saying people should leave companies. I like people getting paid. Maybe I should. I'll frame it differently. I'll say these are people that I think would work better on the other side. A few names I could easily rattle off is probably Ricky Starks and Wardlow. I think their time has probably come to an end. I think Keith Lee's time has come to an end. I think maybe Malachi's at the end of the year. I don't know if he has those option years that it's been kind of loosely reported. I think he would be fine going ahead and dropping out. And other than that, I'm not too sure. There's a few names on there, but those are a couple, so we'll stick with that. We eating good this Dynamite, watching from the UK. Yes, we are eating good this Dynamite, watching from the UK. Shout out. That's probably why you asked, am I coming to Wembley? Are you going to Wembley? Since you're from the UK, I'm curious to know. That should be a fun show, so I hope you're going. Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy do need to take a break right now. Those are two names that definitely need to take a break. I haven't seen Orange in a little bit, so I think he is, but Jericho needs to be quickly up next. Very quickly. I'll be trying to go to Grand Slam and excited because of Royal Rampage title shot opportunity. Yes, Royal Rampage is going to be this Friday. It should be very interesting to see who wins. I know we brought it up earlier. I think it's going to be Mox, but it should be a very fun Rampage. Forbidden Door missed the opportunity to have a stage when it's literally a door that opens as an entrance. Yeah, maybe they should play the Forbidden Door part of it up. Maybe have a swinging tunnel or something crazy like that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Another one from Ian. Speaking of the Dynamite stage, they need to remove the LED panels from the tunnels. They look terrible in my opinion. Just go back to regular lights on the tunnels. I actually don't hate the LEDs on the tunnels. I hate the LEDs by the ring. They definitely need to drop the LEDs by the ring. They need to just scale back the production from all this stuff. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't hate it, but if they just went back to lights, I also wouldn't complain because I want scaled back production. So I think you're on the right track there. I'm agreeing pretty much. MVF, what's good, MVF? I feel bad for Keith Lee. Horrible luck with injuries and illness for most of his run. Most of his career, really, just horrible luck, horrible injuries that kind of just keep him from really reaching his peak. I don't know if he'll ever get to it, but hey, we've had some good moments with Keith, so it's not so bad, but I do feel pretty bad for him as well. Orange Cassidy has been demoted to Rampage as of late and has a new faction. Oh, yeah, you're right. The conglomeration. I forgot all about the conglomeration. Yeah, he has been demoted to Rampage. Maybe that is a kind of a semi-break, but I'd just like for him to go away for a while. So, yeah. Yeah, definitely going to every AEW UK show, only wrestling I follow. Hey, shout out. Those should be some good shows. I know they're doing another one outside of Wembley this year too, so all should be very fun. So that's very exciting. I'm glad you're going. Watching from Poland, hey, shout out. That's awesome. Why do people hate the LEDs so much? I think it's just because it takes away from the action in the ring. It's just very distracting to me. I don't know. It's just too bright, too distracting. I just wish they scale back. It feels more real to me. That's kind of why I don't like them specifically. AEW needs to bring back black ropes. There was a while where I would have said yes, but apparently, according to the wrestlers, that you could basically not see the ropes. So it made it really hard for them. Apparently the ropes would blend in with the crowd kind of thing. So I don't mind them doing white ropes if it's for safety. So I'm cool with it now. Ring LEDs are shit. Yup. Why don't you do post-show live streams? It's just not ever something I've ever been so interested in. After the shows, I just kind of like to chill out because usually I got work on Thursday and stuff and all that good stuff. I'm thinking maybe we'll do a pre-collision stream maybe in the future. We'll start up something like that. Thinking about doing a pod. Maybe that'll be live. So yeah, that'll probably be where I'm at. But I don't know. I like doing the pre-shows more than the post-shows. It makes a little bit more sense in my head. I feel like Malachi Black versus Karrion Kross would elevate them to the top. I think that match would, just depending on how long they get and how willing they are to come to work. I think that's where I'm at there. How would you bring back Garcia? I would have him come back and beat the shit out of MJF. I think keep it simple, keep it fiery. He's got to be that fiery underdog. That's how I'd do it. if Keith remains in AEW, I think he should rejoin with Shane Taylor and take the burden off him and just use his aura in getting a Go-Go and Moriarty over. Yeah, if he was going to slot in anywhere, that's not a bad spot for him. I'm definitely on your side there. I don't know if he'll ever come back, but if he does, yeah. OC needs to take a break. Great way to write him off would be Jack Perry giving him a kayfabe injury. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. You know, him maybe challenging for TNT. I need a belt. And then Jack Perry sacrificing him, as he says. So I wouldn't mind seeing that. Here we go. We have the Saraya hot take. Everyone lock in for the Saraya hot take. Saraya could be a big draw if booked right. She proved herself as the anti-diva back when it was rare for everybody except her. There was a while ago where I might have agreed, but if you've seen her stuff online and all this good stuff, she doesn't have the goodwill she used to. I don't think she has the star power that she used to. I think she's a fine hand. I don't think she's too bad in the ring, but I'm definitely not saying I want to be pushing for her to be put over to the top. Oh, piss break. I get it. Okay. It was a piss break for everybody. She did a great stuff back then, and she was a big part of that movement, but I think we're a long way away from that kind of thing. That's where I'm at with it. Miro hasn't been seen in a long time, and I think he'll leave AEW. Yeah, that's another good shout. Miro, he's probably gone too. Don't know where he's been at, but unfortunate. He was having a good run for a while there. How do you feel about Phil versus Drew being announced? Don't think he'll do well in singles without being carried a lot. I think it's very risky. You're very risky running that match, especially given Punk's current state. Especially I would have been more excited for it too if Seth wasn't the referee. That guest spot shit. It could be good, but I'm worried. That kind of thing. I'll be watching it because I used to be a CM Punk fan. I want to see him do something all right. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of him these days, but I'm worried about it. That's what I'll say. Saraya has slowed down in the ring since her injuries. Yeah, she definitely has. Can't wrestle consistently. Probably injuries. Match of the year for you so far. It's probably Danielson, Zack Sabre Jr. and probably Danielson Ospreay is top two. And I would probably slide in Io Sky versus I'm forgetting the name. Right now. You guys know what I'm talking about. Her match in Japan. Io Sky versus Utami Hayashishita. That's what I'd say. Those are the three that immediately come to mind. So that's where I'm going with that. Jack Perry can literally run him over with a car. Yeah. All right. I wouldn't mind seeing him run over the car just like he did Darby. It's about Saraya's aura and story. There's a mainstream movie about her. Yeah, but she don't got it anymore. I'm sorry. I kind of wanted it to work. I used to be a Saraya fan, but I'm over it now these days, I'm afraid. Is Will advertised for this show? He is not. It doesn't look like he will be on it. I think the Drew match is going to be like Brett Taker with Shawn Michaels as special referee. Great match and story, by the way. Go check it out. I have not seen that match. I will go check it out. Off your recommendation. There's definitely a chance, but it's not guaranteed. It makes me worried. My match of the year so far was Ospreay versus O'Reilly at Collision. That's a great fucking choice. I love that match. I love O'Reilly. I love Ospreay. That's a great choice. Very out there too. Yeah, that's real shit. Glad to see so many AEW originals getting singles matches at All In this year. Should let us know who the main players will be going forward. Yeah, I think that's kind of a story they're telling. How will the originals gel with the new generation and that kind of thing. I think they're doing it really well, and I think All In is kind of the antithesis of that. So, yeah, thank you guys for all the chats. If you haven't liked the stream, go ahead and drop a like. If you want to drop a super chat, you're feeling generous, go ahead and hit it up. But we're going to move on to the next match. It's going to be Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, making her return against Hikaru Shida. I love Shida. I am open to the idea of DMD being better. So this is going to be a very telling match. If there's anyone that DMD could be better with and, shake off that in-ring rust with, it's Hikaru Shida. I know not everybody's excited for the DMD run. I get it. I completely understand. But I'm excited to see how she looks. I think it'll be good. I think she'll look all right. So I think we're just going to see. But this is a great match to really see, if you guys get what I'm saying. So, yeah, this should be an exciting one. I'm looking forward to this match. I'm looking forward to see what it means going forward after for both these wrestlers. Maybe Hikaru does go heel. Maybe DMD looks much better. Who knows? That's what I'm excited for. Who do you think will win the main event of All In? I'm going to go with Bryan Danielson. I don't think they make the match unless he's going to win. So I'm definitely going to go Bryan Danielson holding the AEW World Championship. at Wembley to kind of send his career off on a high. That's what I'd say. Let's see here. Gotta get some fluid. Hopefully you guys don't hear me gulping, but I'm sure you do. Don't mention it because it'll freak me out. I'll have to mute every time. Can't do that. Just hear the gulps. Now I'm excited for the DMD run. She has the star power needed in the women's division right now. She does have a good amount of star power, and I think that's a big part of it. That's why I'm hoping for her to be good. She does have a star power, and I have enjoyed her work in the past. So I don't know. We'll see. I hope Sheeta turns heel and attacks Baker after the match. I wouldn't mind that to be an angle. I know they kind of just did a heel turn like that with Mariah, so I don't know if they do it like that. But I think Sheeta going heel would be a good shout. People have been looking for that for a long time. I'm included. I never knew what the letters DMD stand for. Please tell me. It's basically like she's a dentist. I don't know exactly what it stands for. Let me see. I should know, honestly. DMD stand for. It can stand for Doctor of Dental Medicine. So that's what it is. Or Doctor of Medicine in Dentistry. So in one of those two. Basically, you're a dentist. Crazy how the women's division is versus a year ago. When do you start really believing things were changing? I don't know when I started believing things were changing. Honestly, earlier this year, I felt it was taking a step. And even before that, I was kind of thinking it was taking a step. It's been a great year for the women's division in AEW. I've really enjoyed it, and they have definitely taken that step you mentioned. So probably earlier this year where I knew it was real. I'm more high on Harley Cameron. Solid in the ring, charisma, plus she's a ventriloquist. That's interesting, I didn't know that. I want to see her use that skill, like a crazy Harley Quinn jester gimmick with a hand puppet. That's a crazy-ass gimmick to give, but I don't know. I'd be interested in seeing it. Why not? Maybe keep that away from main AEW, put that shit on ROH. But she's all right. She obviously had those couple showings on main AEW, and I thought she looked fine. So I wouldn't mind seeing her get a run in Ring of Honor. I think that's probably where I'd put her. Doctor of Medicine and Dentistry. Yep. DMD. That wrestler stocks are you selling, buying, and doubling down on? The WrestlePeers crew was talking about this the other day, and I'm curious what your answers are. Look, I was watching that stream. I watched that stream in full, and I did happen to think about all my answers for this. So buying, we'll start with buying. I was big on the guns, and I'm buying more of the stock. I think the guns have looked great as of late, and I think they're only looking up to be better. So I would definitely say the guns is buying stock. Maybe that's doubling down. We'll double down on the gun stock. Buying stock, I'm going to say Bolton Oleg from New Japan. That's who I'm going to buy stock in. I think he's awesome. He's a big guy, wrestles like a big guy. He throws people around. He throws himself around. I think that fucking rules. And selling stock on. That's a very interesting... There's a lot of answers I could have to this. A lot of people that I've been very high on lately that I'm not so high on anymore. I don't know. I gotta think about it. Let me go with... Damn. This is a tough one. I want to say Mox. I do want to say Mox. I know they were saying Mox a ton, but I think I'm okay with saying Mox. Let me see here. I'm going to look through the roster real quick just because I want to give a good answer on who I'm selling, because I don't want to just say Mox, even though I do kind of feel like it's Mox. But let's see. Scrolling down. I'm sure this is making for really good podcast not podcast, but like good content here, where I'm just kind of scrolling and looking at a bunch of wrestlers to kind of decide. Damn. All right, I'll go with Jay White. I'll go with Switchblade. Switchblade and Mox are my two. Those are my two answers. Not people I've been very down on recently, so I'm gonna say them. So to run it back, doubling down on the guns, I'm buying stock in Bolton Oleg, and I'm selling Jay White and Jon Moxley. That's what I'm saying. Also didn't know what DMD stands for, but I always feel guilty when it really never checked it. Yeah, I knew it stand for like being a dentist, but I didn't know exactly what it stood for, so might as well check. Yeah, I'm passionate about the women's division. I want to keep it evolving and getting better. One way to do that is to make these wrestlers train more. Yeah, I'm big into women's wrestling. I think it's one of my favorite discoveries this year is Joshi wrestling. I thought I've had so much fun watching it this year, and so I'm really passionate about making that as good as it can be. So I definitely, if getting them to train more or whatever it takes, I definitely want it to be as good as possible. Can you see Kyle Fletcher versus Daniel Garcia as an all-in featured match in 2 to 5 years? Oh yeah, oh yeah. I'm a big on Kyle Fletcher. We have Ian Davis is later in the chat saying Kyle Fletcher good. Kyle Fletcher is good, so I could definitely see that being the case. I'm high on both those guys. AEW have the best women's division, and they have some good stories going on across Dynamite and Collision. I would have to agree. I don't know. There's some, Joshi promotions I maybe would say, but American companies, I think so. Buying stock on EJ Doak. I know who you're talking about. I don't know. I'm not going to say it wrong, but I know who you're talking about. That guy's a beast. That guy's a beast. Selling Danhausen, should have sold that shit a long time ago, pal. I'm sorry to tell you. Buying stocks in Hologram. Debut looked awesome. I completely get it. The thing with Mox is he hasn't been on TV consistently this year. He's been doing this Ace of the World thing. No, the problem with Mox is that he keeps, hanging out with Josh Barnett. And he keeps learning how to do more jiu-jitsu shit and keeps putting it in his matches. That's the issue right now with Mox. He needs to get the fuck away from jiu-jitsu and needs to study some Terry Funk. That's what he needs to do. Was good. Love the content. Appreciate that, Ty. Appreciate that. Thank you for hanging out. Brainbuster. Shout out Brainbuster. Shout out the Graps podcast. They are in their consistent era. So if you guys are looking for consistent podcasts, go over and check out the Graps one. Although they did kind of come at me on Twitter crazy yesterday, but it's okay. We got the feds on them. I called them up. Don't worry. Scrolling through the AEW roster page or cage match while recording is the Graps Pod special. Enjoy the show. I feel like it's every pod special, so it's good to include it on mine every once in a while. Appreciate that. You enjoy it too. Hope the pre-show nap was good. It was a little short nap. I saw that tweet. It was about 30 minutes ago. It's a quick little nap. Hopefully it fuels you up good for this Dynamite. Looks like a good one. So enjoy the show too, Brain. I'm sure we'll be chatting on Twitter at least once or twice throughout the show, so we'll see. I feel like Switchblade will beat Rainmaker for the Continental title this year. I wouldn't hate to see it. It would be a little crazy given their two standings, but I couldn't see it. That's my problem. I don't need AEW to be a copy of WWE Women's, but one thing WWE has is a training system, especially for women. I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think ROH could be something like that for them, so I wouldn't hate seeing it. If AEW did a Hall of Fame one day, Jon Moxley would be the first person I'd induct. Yeah, definitely. What's been your favorite G1 Climax match so far? Mine's Konosuke versus Yoda. I haven't seen all of it, so I'm not going to say that, but that match was awesome. I will be catching up, but for that, I'd probably say Konosuke versus Yoda Tsuji as well. There have been many stories that training is optional, and that shows I want to see hunger. Yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing it. I think ROH should be a good shout for that. 15 minutes, yep. Bro, Takeshita better be a champion soon. He better be up there. He better be world champion in the next year. I'm so serious. He's so fucking good, bro. His run in the G1 this year has been fucking amazing. I'm excited to get into more of his matches. I got to catch up tonight, so we'll be doing that. What would you main event Dynamite 282 with, aka when they pass Nitro? Probably some crazy ass bullshit just for fun. Just to kind of shit on him. I know Tony's probably going to do something like that. Wrestling is fake. I don't know what that guy's talking about. We're going to get into the main event, the very real main event, I might add. The Blood and Guts match, Team AEW, Swerve Strickland, Darby Allin, Mark Briscoe, and The Acclaimed versus Team Elite, Okada, The Bucks, Hangman, and Jack Perry. This match should be very, very good. This match should be a fun time. We've spoken about it so much throughout this show. I don't think I need to go crazy into it right now. But this match should be very good. It should be a fun time. They should hopefully build the stories in this match between all of them so they can kind of branch out after. This match should be very, very fun. I'm excited to see the spots they kind of come out with. I know there were some hot takes in here from Apollo. I'm pretty sure it was Apollo. Hopefully I'm not wrong. That maybe Swerve and Hangman won't touch. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it because they're the kind of story I'm looking out for in this match. This should be a whole lot of fun. Blood and Guts matches usually are, even if they're not built the best. It's going to be an exciting one. Very exciting to cap off this Dynamite with. Hope maybe cap or intro, I'm not too sure. We are 10 minutes out from Dynamite, so we're going to speed through these chats. Get in anything else you guys want to talk about. Maybe get in a super chat if you're feeling generous. Maybe leave a like on the stream if you're liking the stream. We're going to get through here. Takeshita is going to win the C2. That's where I'm at with it, too. I think he's going to win the C2, and I think he's going to win the world title off of that, too. I think that's where we need to go with him. I think he's that good. I think he's that special of a talent. That's what I'd do. What you think is real, please. Yeah, it is real, buddy. So, get fucked. Takeshita needs to capture either TNT or International Championship this year. I would go further. I'd say the world title. This match got to be story-driven. If they can plant seeds and use story beats, this can be good. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. I agree. Okada should win the match just as Hangman is about to throw Swerve off the top. Sets up Hangman versus Okada at All In. I don't know if that's the match I would love to see at All In, but it feels like the direction they're going to go. So if that's how they're going to do it, I would not mind it. Aside from WWE talent, who would you cut from the roster? I talked about it earlier. Maybe like Wardlow, Ricky Starks, those kind of guys feel maybe not cut worthy, but when their contracts expire, I'd probably just let them go. It feels like they're done with the territory right now. So that's what I'd say. Also, Blood and Guts needs to take a break after this. Should be earned, not given. That's what we talked about earlier. I 100% agree. It's what I said earlier. So we're on the same page. Damn, your channel is about wrestling, nothing else. That's true. I do talk about Graps all the damn time. So if you guys like Graps in this chat, you're not subbed, drop the sub. I hope AEW stops calling Takeshita. He is... Oh, wait, what? Oh, people are just like misspeaking his name. Yeah, I hope they clean that up if they're doing something like that. Who do you think is going to win the Blood and Guts match? I think it's going to... That's a good shout. I probably should have given my winner for this match for sure. I think it's got to be the Elite. That's what I'd say. I think it's got to be the Elite. I don't think Swerve's going to be involved in the finish, but I'm going to say the Elite. They need something like this. They need it big time. Why lukewarm on Hangman versus Okada? Just curious. Because I feel like it's hard to get me too excited for a heel-on-heel match because they're both bad guys. And I don't think asking a big-ass crowd to, kind of fight with that should be worthwhile, I wish it would have just been heel versus face for both guys. I think it would have worked a lot better for them. That's where I'm at with it. I don't want heel versus heel. That's it. I think the match would be awesome, but that's the only thing holding it back for me. I love Takeshita, but he ain't winning the world title. Maybe turn him face and have him get a run to eventually beat Jack Perry. I love Takeshita, and I think he's winning that world title. I think he's that good. That's where I'm at on it, honestly. Do you think Samoa Joe will get back in the main event picture after he finishes mentoring Hook? I don't think so. I think he's had his run. Maybe he'll do a challenge for the belt once, maybe. But I think he's had his run at the top, and it was great as it was. So, yeah. Salute to Mr. Santazap, one of the biggest channels ever, maybe all time. No, not that far, but he is. It's a good channel. Shout out to him. Hope, honestly, Takeshita could have been in Andrade spot in the last C2. Yeah, I'm okay with the last C2's participants, and I hope he gets a shot in the C2. I hope he wins the whole thing. Do you think Paul White will be back? No, I do not. Hangman turns on the Bucks to get Swerve, which screws up the Elite, and Okada takes it personal, setting up a match for All In. I really like that idea, so that's kind of where I'd go with that if I was going to go for that match. Jericho kind of might elevate the FTW title at the end. I mean, maybe, but I just don't need to see him on my TV. Maybe it will be successful, but I don't enjoy it, so I don't want to see it. Who would you have Samoa Joe... Who would you have Samoa Joe length world title run? Oh, like the how long? I don't know. It needs to be like his was so specific it needed to happen. Like how long he held that belt after MJF and stuff. So it'd have to be one of those scenarios. Maybe just like a good vet. Maybe Bryan Danielson. Maybe that's where I'd put it. Bryan Danielson at the end of this year. Hangman is pissed and takes out his anger on Okada. Could see it. Don't forget to subscribe to... Don't do that. Don't subscribe to Ticket TV. Look, okay, I've given you leeway. We're done. We're done here. There we go. All right, given leeway, it's enough leeway. John Cena versus MJF, would it be a good match? I think it would be a good match. Both guys can be smart. So I think it would be a good match. Nostalgia type of Stockholm Syndrome. What? We need Darby Allin to capture a world title before he retires one day. I think he's on that track. I think he's so good. He just is AEW in so many ways. I think the world title is going to be in his future at some point. I think he'll have earned it. They need to make the FTW title the official hardcore title. I think it kind of already is. So yeah, I kind of agree. Nostalgia type of Stockholm Syndrome. FTW, I would like to see it just be the hardcore title. It already is, so I'd like to see it continue that way post Jericho. 3 dream WWE versus AEW matches. That is so difficult to do right now. Shield 3-way. Io Sky versus Io Sky. Let's say, who's a good one? Let's go Io Sky versus Willow, and then I'll go with... It's so hard. This is a tough-ass question for being so close to Dynamite. This is honestly crazy of you. We'll just do Roman versus Kenny. Darby running down back Jack Perry for All In. Feels like we're going to build that sort of thing. WWE AEW pay-per-view would be good. I think it would be kind of cool. I wouldn't mind seeing it, but I don't think we'll ever see it. I'd prefer not to see the FTW title at all. I think it's kind of on its last legs, but if it's going to be around, I'd prefer it to be hardcore, but I'm kind of in agreement with you, Ian. How do you think they're going to use Sting's sons when he's done training? I think they'll probably just keep him on TV doing similar things. He'll probably be a surfer Sting, all that good stuff. I think he'll be just a person on TV and put in a decently big role. Have a good Dynamite, guys. Which CMLL wrestlers should be signed to AEW? None of them. They should stay in CMLL. That's what they deserve. But if anyone, I'd like to see Silverano Jr. The nostalgia will be about Jericho reign. It will hit in 2 years. We are fickle. Brian told us, no, there will be no Jericho nostalgia about him right now. I'm afraid to say it. AEW versus WWE in a blood and guts match. Do you think it would be good? It would be good. It would be enjoyable. With that being said, it is 5 minutes of Dynamite. I have ran all your chats. Thank you guys so much for all the love in the chat. You guys have provided some great content throughout this whole thing. This looks to be a great show. Thank you guys for hanging out. Thank you guys for all the likes. I really appreciate it. Reminder, we will be taking 2 weeks off from the show, but after that, we will be back. I will be on the Late Night Grin this Friday. If you guys want to see a ROH post show, we're going to be discussing all of it. I'll be with Charlie of WrestlePurist, Joe Holbert. I'll be with Dukes, and I'll be with Confirmed Shoot of Late Night Grin fame. So yeah, make sure to check that out on Friday, post ROH. So thank you guys for hanging out. I hope you all enjoyed Dynamite and have a good one. Much love to you all. Peace.